Hey, aloha everybody. This is Chip Rose, back again with another action-packed video, hopefully for a lot of you. What we're looking at here would be, I guess, of interest to anybody maybe that's involved in purchasing of product for sales for your companies and what have you. And what we're looking at here is a historical transactional listing of all of the product that we've purchased over the years. And a lot of the product that you'll see listed here, there's duplicates and triplicates because they're obviously being purchased at different times. For instance, with the escargot, we got 2 different times we purchased it there, another time down here. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. The key is, though, what we've done is we've kind of tracked, when we purchase it, obviously, the product, obviously, the category that the product falls into, as well as the amount that we had purchased at the time, along with what we had paid for it, okay? Now, what we were wanting to do was to kind of do some analysis on our purchasing of the product and just kind of get some kind of, not very low level, I guess, statistical information from it. And what we want to be able to basically do is use the filtering here to focus in on a specific, product or specific category, for that matter, if you want to do it that way too. And then actually see the total amount that we paid and then what the weighted, average cost was of that product. So for instance, let's try something here. Let's look at the escargot that we have here, okay? So we'll go ahead and hit the little drop-down filter. Go ahead and hit the select all, and then just choose the escargot, right? Hit OK, and there it goes. So it shows that we've purchased about maybe 7 or 8 times. One time we did, 3,274 of them at $6.97, and so on and so forth. So we got all in there. But here's the trick. Here's the cool thing about it. I can look up here at the top, and I can see that we had spent a total of $115,000 purchasing this product over the different times. And then we can also see what the average was that we had paid for the product, right? Because as you can see, it's varied, obviously, but we can't just do something like, oh, here, we'll just find the average of that. That's not going to work because we've got different quantities that we had purchased. So that offsets it a little bit. So we have to do what is called a weighted average on that. So that's the first part. So we can go back in there and say, okay, let's take a look at another product, let's say. So I can hit my little filter button. I could probably, if anything, just hit clear filter. I can do it like that, and that'll kind of wipe it all out. Or I could have just gone down here and checked something else. But regardless, I'll go in here, I'll say, okay, let's say we want to look at Ipu coffee, right? So I'll hit the select all, there we go. Here's my Ipu down there, hit my OK, there's the Ipu coffee. Again, what we see here is we have spent a little over $140,000 over the years, and the weighted average cost was $4.34. So during the times where we had spent quite a bit of money on the product, as far as cost goes, we have other times where it got offset by some lower costs as well. But overall, that's what we're looking at here. Now, let's look at one other thing here. Let me go back and I'll clear the filter out for that one. All right. Let's look at our categories. Let's say we want to get an idea of what we've spent overall in let's say, seafood type purchases, right? So I'll go over here to my drop down, hit the select all, go to my seafood, hit OK, and voila, there it is. So there's all the seafood sales. So it ends up being about $286,000 in seafood, right? and I mean, these are different products, obviously, but that's how much we spent. And on average, we spent, $4.52 per ounce, pound, however we purchase it as. But pretty interesting aspect with all this. So that's great. Now, how the heck do we do this, right? So what I'm going to do is just tell you guys that if you're wanting to maybe pull this off yourselves, come up with the same thing that you're looking at here, something like it, okay? And then you can kind of model your formula that you'll use for each of these, right? You'll model it against what I have here, right? It won't be too hard to do. But here's how it works. Let me show you first of all the total cost, okay? And I'm just going to kind of hover over this. I got a little note popped in there. And it kind of shows you that formula. So what is this? I mean, this is pretty extravagant, right? We've nested 4 or 5 different functions together to make this happen. That's pretty powerful. All right, so the deal with this then, just to give you an idea what's happening, is that sum product function is basically used in this case to take the quantity times the cost plus the quantity times the cost for every one of these going down the line. And that's what that's there for, right? The subtotal basically is telling it that it only will calculate on that which is being, that's visible here. The stuff that's outside the filter will not be in there. So if you didn't have, if you didn't have that subtotal in there, then this is not going to work for you very well. Okay, and then basically the subtotal is built off of then using the offset and the row. And look at this, you guys, the minus row. How about that one, huh? Well, it really just means minus row, you know. Sorry with that 6 there, but the idea is that that's what it takes just to do that. Okay, so look at that. I mean, obviously you'll be able to pause the video and look at this later on, but the point of this matter is that's what that's doing. Okay, now the weighted average, if you thought this was bad, okay, well, weighted average is much worse than, but I'll show you here. So for the weighted average, we get this one. So and really the only difference between the two is that for the weighted average, it basically does the subtotal on calculation just on what's being displayed here, as well as the what you have here is with the sub product as well. Anyway, so not too bad, but I will tell you this. When you look at this, it's kind of it's a little tricky because there's a lot of left parentheses to begin with, and then it kind of balances out towards the middle there with the right parentheses. So keep that in mind as well. But looking at this, this is pretty good stuff here, and you will wow and amaze people with this. All right, so hopefully this will be a fun one for you to start working with. Again, it's something that a lot of the accounting systems can't really calculate, and that's why a lot of people will dump all their data into Excel here and run this. So hopefully you'll have fun with this. I appreciate you watching the video, and we'll see you again. Thank you.